Hey there, everybody. I'm CCB Dolan here with CCB Rise, bringing you the third match of Day 2 of Alliance Tournament 11, Sleeper Socials Club versus Verge of Collapse. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the setups they've brought today?
So Verge of Collapse bringing Dominix's, a setup that seemed extremely strong so far. No big surprise there. They have a Prophecy, which is a little bit different as their command ship, and then a whole bunch of Merlins. And Sleeper Social Club, on the other hand, has brought kind of a sort of traditional Minotaur Rush setup, Slipners with Scimitar, but they've brought a bunch of Caracols, which is pretty cool. That's kind of emerging as a high-value cruiser. We saw it do well, I think, a couple times yesterday, and then a couple Destroyers and Assault Frig. So I'm very curious about how this match will go. We've been talking about what works well against Dominix's and what doesn't, and I feel like this is a setup that has a good chance at least. But we'll have to see. We are underway now. The teams started fairly far apart from each other. The Slipners were pretty close to 0 on the beacon, but the entire Verge team is at max range at 50. So Sleeper Social Club will be burning across as quick as they can, I assume, to try to get to those
Saber dropping
Verge
for
ships.
Elwood Gnome as soon as the match started, catching around the Sentry Fire, I would guess. Saber immediately shot straight into armor. They're just killing off the small support. Look at that. Another one instantly annihilated.
Yeah. Those sentry drones are so strong, and they do the thing that's, I think, really strong and kind of obvious, I guess, but they drop the blobs of guards, and then they just burn back. So they drag the entire Sleeper Social Club team through the guards if they want to get to the Dominix's, and in the meantime, they can do stuff like pick off support or lay down a bunch of damage on whatever's going to be a primary after the support's out of the way.
Yeah, and there is not a lot of room for smart bombs in the Sleeper Social Club team. So clearing off those drones is going to be not impossible for them. As a Caracal just instantly evaporates as well, Docty 2. This is just absolutely withering fire coming from the Verge of Collapse team.
Yeah, and so far no real damage to speak of. Hitting Verge of Collapse and Ishkur taking a little bit of damage. I'm assuming those Ishkurs are doing some peeling we've talked about before, getting tackles, keeping them away from important ships like the
What's
logistics.
that Nero's caught by?
I will
As
find
a
out
Harpy
for
drops.
you, CCP Dolan. Give me one moment.
So as we see just more and more dropping, we saw Harpy just drop, and no real damage being applied here. They're just hoping and praying, I guess, that they can get damage on something, and then like get a lucky ECM drone jam on the Soneros.
So it is a Slipner that has a tackle on the Oneros. I'm trying to see if there's more than one. Yeah, it looks like there's at least 2 there. I don't know where the third is. He could have gotten tackled away from the main group.
But they're trading off their Scimitar. Their Scimitar just got annihilated. Sylvanas just absolutely getting obliterated. This is going to be, if they can clear off one of these Slipners, which with no logistics support shouldn't be a huge problem for them. They just have to burn right through the ASBs, and the Dominixes should have the damage to do it. As the Oneros is local repping or potentially repping with some armor rep drones, he's just staying up. He's not dying as quickly as they need him to die.
Yeah, he does have rep drones on him. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing we talked about in the last match with CVA, how they needed to kill the logistics, but this is the problem when you go for logistics a lot of the time. They're very hard to kill, and in the meantime, you have to take tons of damage yourself. So,
as Mr. Snooze drops in his Slipnir.
Yeah, that
Wow.
hurts pretty bad.
And you saw there the incredible target priority from
Slipner
Verge
down.
of Collapse. Slipner drops as the Oneros starts dropping into structure. We'll see if he's actually not taking a ton of structure damage. He's potentially stabilizing here as another Slipner is immediately pushed through all of its shields. ASB be damned. They're just going to kill it. Not really caring. Only going to let it have 1 or 2 boosts here before they just pound right through all its structure as well. There it goes.
He's
Droshed
dead.
in, dropping.
Yeah, and he was totally separated from the rest of the Sleeper Social Club DPS that were trying to bring down the Oneros. So really all that's damaging the Oneros is 1 Slipner, 1 Caracol, and the Harpy, I think.
Look at that damage. Look at the huge chunk taken out of the Slipner's shield in the single volley. And the Oneros is stabilized now. This is going to be a clean sweep for last year's winners of Alliance Tournament 10. Verge of Collapse looking even stronger this year. Last year, they were sort of the team that snuck up on us, didn't look incredible in early rounds, and just ended up winning the tournament. But this year, they have looked ultra strong from their very first match.
Yep, and I think that they're going to get out of this one without losing a single ship. And we still are looking for the clear counter to the Dominixes. I think it's a solvable problem, but not the easiest one. You're talking about smart bombs. I actually think that that doesn't really work. The problem with smart bombs against the sentry drones is that they can drop more. Their bay is big enough to drop 2 or 3 sets, and if you spend a bunch of time smart bombing 1 set of sentries, in the meantime, the Dominixes have moved somewhere else, and they're just going to drop another set as soon as it's smart bombed away. So you're going to spend the whole match clearing sentry drones, and you're never going to stop taking damage.
That's not actually what I think the counter to Dominic's is. Do you know what I think the counter to Dominic's is?
What?
It's banning them.
Yes.
Which there are no bans this first weekend because we just are running matches so rapid fire. There would be no time for bans. It would slow the day down far too much. We had to fit 32 matches into both days.
I'm going to cut you off.
The match is complete, but there will be bans next weekend, and I think the Dominics will be quite frequently banned.
We'll be back in a sec, guys.